Good morning and welcome back, everybody, to Rhody College Game Day. It is a very special time as today we are bringing you the first of many 2024 Rhody College Game Day. It's the spring day. I'm your host, Noah McLean, alongside Connor DeRocha to my left and Johnny Blair to my right. We have a lot to talk about here on this cold but fun Saturday morning. We are going to introduce the new era of Rhody football, break down the new and improved roster of 2024. We're going to look at what spring and summer will bring to this camp right here. And, of course, we are also going to sit down with head coach Jim Fleming. And if we have a little bit of time, well, you might even see the three of us show off our skills. We hope not. Anyway, folks, all that coming right here on Rhody College Game Day. All right, guys, we are going to take a first sneak peek look at the new and improved 2024 roster. Johnny Blair and Connor DeRocha are going to break it down. We have a lot to talk about. We have some new quarterbacks, some veterans coming back, and a lot more to discuss. Let's start over here with Connor DeRocha. Connor, what do you have for us?
Yeah, no, on the offense side of the ball, it all starts at the quarterback position. Second-year Ram Devin Farrell transferred from Virginia Tech. He's a dual-threat quarterback. We also have a Clemson transfer, Hunter Helms, who's more of a pocket passer. So look for that to, the quarterback battle to be, a step in the right direction today. As for the running back room, Gabe Sloat looks to take a bigger role this year with Jada McKenzie graduating. For the wide receiver room, another big loss in Katero Summers. But freshman Marquise Buchanan, who just won the Providence Gridiron MVP, looks to fill that role as he just comes off a great first year. Also, veterans Jig Williams and Jamal Mensah look to fill the role of Darius Savage left behind. As for the tight end room, all four tight ends are returning, with Brady Rourke and Kevin Schaefer looking to fill the role as the starter. In the trenches, the offensive line, a lot of returning players, including veterans Adam McCanna, Brock Bethea, and incoming transfer Jordan Cooper. They're all set to play very important roles for Rhody.
Thank you, Connor. That's a look at our offensive side of things. We got some ACC boys coming to ball. We got some veterans. Adam McKenna, got to give a shout-out to my guy. What a man that guy is. And we are excited to see what these new wide receivers. And, hey, look out for Marcus Buchanan now rocking jersey number 1. That is our look at our offensive side of things. And now the host with the most, Johnny Blair's got our defensive side.
Thank you so much, Noah. And obviously, without all the stuff going on the offensive side of the ball, you can expect just as much interesting stuff happening on the defensive side. Starting in the trenches, working our way outward on the D-line, all starters are returning. Malachi Burby, AJ Pena, who entered the portal but then decided to stay in Rhode Island for another season. Gabe Solomons, Wesley Neal Jr., they're all coming back with young wave behind them. Case Mankins, the son of Patriots legend Logan Mankins, and Kareem Wilson Jr. That's the defensive front for this Rhode Island team. It's looking stacked. It's looking loaded. They're going to get after the quarterback. And then moving to the linebacker room, returning linebackers Cole Brockwell, Mitch Garner, and rising stars Devin Hightower and Moses Muse are primed for a very large role on this team. Evan Stewart, unfortunately, had to depart from the team. He graduated. He was a senior, leaving a big hole to fill for these young stars to step up. Also, Sam Ofuri, who was a transfer from Garden City Community College, also looking to take a prime step in the right direction here in this Rhode Island defense. And then in the secondary, the defensive backs, we lost Jordan Colbert to the NFL draft. He was a star for this team. And then also Saeed Gibbs transferred to Georgia Tech, the star freshman, made some key plays for us last year, but he is no longer with us. So longtime corner Frederick Malley, safety Sean Filoe, and Brandon Price, among other long-term Rams, are looking to fight for that starting role in the secondary.
Thank you, Johnny. There's our defensive breakdown of things, and we heard yesterday on a podcast from head coach Jim Fleming, which we don't want to talk too much about because he will be joining us in just a little bit, but a lot of young guys looking to step up and make big roles. We are going to see some big things on the defensive side of things. Guys, let's jump right into spring and summer. Today, the spring game kicking off at 11 a.m. If you are not here, you are not in the right place. You heard it here first, and I guess if you're not here and you're watching us, we'll let it slide for this one time. But next year, we hope you can get down for a ball game or two. But URI will be split into two. That's how the two teams work, and we will see what all of the players have to bring. Guys, a sneak peek of the 2024 season. A lot of successful seasons in the past few years, but there is a roadblock. That is get into the CAA playoffs, and that is win football games down the stretch of the season. Obviously, we can talk a lot about those kinds of things. We don't want to get too far in, but if you had an early season prediction for Rhode Island this season, we'll start with you, Connor. What does the season look like, and maybe a record prediction?
If I'm Rhode Island, the one thing I'm focusing on this year is developing young talent and also getting after quarterback more. URI's got a big star in A.J. Pena, the sacker, 9 sacks last year, 15.5 tackles for loss, but he was really the biggest producer on that defensive line. So look for more people to get after the quarterback, give Pena a little less double teams every now and then, and really just continue to develop our young talent like Marquise Buchanan.
Thank you, Connor. And Johnny?
Thank you. I think for Rhode Island, if it's me, I'm trying to form a new identity, especially it starts with the quarterback. There are two different routes I think this offense can go. You saw last year and then years prior, it's been a very run-heavy offense with running backs like Jaden McKenzie, also, of course, Kasim Hill, who was a mobile dual-threat quarterback. But they're both gone now, and if you look at the quarterback room, you have two quarterbacks with very different skill sets. You have Devin Farrell, who is more of that dual-threat quarterback and get it done with his legs, and then Hunter Helms, who is mostly a pocket passer, gets it done with his arm. And I think once you make that choice at quarterback, you have to form an offense around that choice, whether it's pass-heavy, run-heavy. I think that for Rhode Island, the goal should be to form a new identity around whichever quarterback is going to be starting.
Thank you, Johnny. And we know for a fact that we will not know who that starting quarterback is for a few months. But, boy, we are excited to see what these two guys can do in the future. Forget about the future. Let's talk about today, right here, right now. Guys, let's start. Johnny, I'm going to ask you, who today scores the first touchdown?
I think for me, it's going to be the hometown kid, Marquise Buchanan. I think he's primed for a massive leap forward in this offense this season with the departures of Katero Summers and Darius Savage. I think he's going to get in the end zone first today.
There you have it, first touchdown. And Connor DeRosa, who do you have for our offensive game MVP?
I'm going to say Gabe Sloat. RB2 this previous season. With the departure of Jaden McKenzie, the opportunity is going to be there for him to take a bigger role. He had about 200 yards receiving, too, as our third down back. So look for him to maybe be a 3-down back at some points this year. And, I think he gets in the end zone, too, today.
And we'll keep it right here with Connor. One more question for you. Let's switch over to the defensive side. Who do you got for us on defense?
I'm going to take A.J. Pena. I talked about him a little bit. The dude's a dog, okay? The dude's a beast. He's going to, I think, getting 2 sacks today. Going to be in the backfield constantly. Look for him to be a game breaker today and all of next season.
Well, there you have it. There are your offensive and defensive MVP predictions. Trying to prove themselves. Who do you got making a break?
I think for me, the pick I think I'm going to go with is Sam Ofuri, the linebacker who transferred from Garden City Community College. Obviously, there is a big hole to fill in that linebacker role left behind by Evan Stewart. I think he's going to step up, bring some new energy into that front seven that is going to be a game changer for Rhode Island. I think he has a lot to offer, and I'm very excited to see him play in this spring game, and I'm also very excited to see him play next season.
And, well, guys, as we know, the portal, I believe, opens on Monday of this coming week. And with the new portal rules, college football and college sports in general have really just been changed. And you have to hunt the portal. We listen to coaches talk about they just sit with their computer on their table and they refresh, because every minute there's somebody new and somebody with that talent that's waiting to be discovered. But, how important is it going to be, guys, for Rhode Island to come in and really try and find these guys that can fill the gaps that were left behind?
Yeah, it's crucial. It's a new age of college football and just college sports as a whole. You can't succeed nowadays without entering the transfer portal and, grabbing players. You look at just March Madness, pretty much all the Final Four teams had a bunch of transfers, so like half transfer teams. So I don't know if that's basketball and this is football, but you're not going to be able to succeed without a large amount of transfer guys, as URI is not even immune to losing guys. As Saeed Gibbs, the CAA Rookie of the Year, had a ton of interceptions last year. He entered the transfer portal and went to Georgia Tech. So getting guys from the transfer portal, being active and providing resources to them is crucial to the success of this program going forward.
And with that, the countdown to training camp this summer begins. We will have a short break for players, but even some guys will stay here for session 1. They'll get most guys back at session 2, and then it is hit the ground running. And just in case you wanted a little taste about what to expect come the fall, a prime time kickoff against Holy Cross at 7 p.m. just a few days after the youngster freshmen. We are going to be seniors, dare I say those words, next year. A little bit scary.
I'll be a junior.
You're a junior. See, this is why we always learn something new every day. I guess Connor and I will be seniors, and Johnny will be a junior. Used to be a youngster. But regardless, 7 p.m. kickoff against Holy Cross, and that will be fantastic.
Welcome back to Rhody Gameday. I'm Jonathan Blair, and alongside me is the URI head football coach. It's entering his 11th season with the program, Jim Fleming. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man, until you tell me it's 11th season. Makes me feel a little old.
Trust me,
we're good.
Trust me, I'm sure it goes by fast, but I mean, we're so appreciative of you taking the time to join us today. We got a couple of questions for you ahead of this spring game going on in a couple of hours. And then the first one I want to jump into is, what are you most looking forward to today?
Clean football.
Clean football?
I want to see them play on both sides of the ball with proper technique and fundamental. Be able to execute the schemes without mental error. See a physical group that plays, and particularly, I want them to play. I want to play them above the knees. I want to walk out of here. I want to walk out of here healthy, but after having a very competitive group that goes back and forth in battles, and let's see what we got.
And as you enter the 11th year with the Rams, how does this spring game kind of lead up to defer to those that the first few years here in Kingston, leading up to the spring game?
Yeah, I got you. I mean, the exposure, the excitement is night and day difference between how people look at football now as they did then. When you look at my perspective in terms of looking at a spring game and what's led up is just the development of this year's football team. They're all different.
Yeah.
Every game, every season is different. It's a different group, and we got a lot of people that got to fill some pretty big shoes. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they come together and develop the team chemistry necessary to win.
And after today's games, and hopefully a clean game as you put it, what does the rest of the offseason kind of look like for you with all the transfer portal stuff and recruitment? What does it look like from your perspective ahead of training camp this year?
Yeah, it never slows down. The reason we're 2 weeks early than we normally are in spring practice is because of the portal. Because people, if they want to leave, can have a chance to do it starting Monday. If they, guys that might be looking for different spots. So we will come in Monday, we'll evaluate this tape, we'll meet with the kids, we'll continue to move forward with our training in the weight room with the guys. They got to get ready for exams and put the time in necessary there. Mm-hmm. Coaches will split the time between evaluation of the spring practice, out recruiting both high school and transfer portal people. Then we go into the camp season, and then we go on a little bit of vacation and get ready to rock and roll, and we get back to work in training camp July 30th.
Awesome. And you kind of alluded to all of the missing pieces from last year. You lost Kasim Hill, the quarterback, Jaden McKenzie, the star running back, Evan Stewart on the defensive side of the ball, Saeed Gibbs, just to name a few of the players that are no longer with us here in Rhode Island. But how does this Ram team going into next year create their own identity with the new players, the new blood coming in?
Well, you establish the depth first and foremost. I mean, that's part of this spring practice, to be able to figure out who's going to be in those spots. And then it becomes a question of their performance both individually and collectively as a team. What are the keys? The keys are the same thing that they always are. Put in the work, get yourself prepared, go out and play as hard as you can, and you'll see. If you play a good game, you play a clean game, you play without self-inflicted wounds, you'll be in every game. Then it's just a question of who's the last man standing in the fourth quarter.
And I hate to keep bringing this up, but entering your 11th season with the program, you've come so far with this team. Where do you see it going? How far can you see this team going in the season next year?
3 more feet, man.
3 more feet.
I mean, really, what it comes down to, it's about, taking that last swing of the axe. I mean, we've been knocking down. We see little trickles of gold here and there, but now we got to knock down the wall and find it, and that's going to be in the terms of finding 2 more wins during the course of the season. If we do that, it's going to put us 8 or 9. If you do that, you're in the championship conversation, and you're certainly in the playoff conversation, and that's our goal.
And what initiatives do you see? This is going to be the last question, then we can let you go on with your busy day before
really
the
not
big
too
game
busy,
here.
yeah.
But what initiatives are in place here in Rhode Island from a coaching, player, front office standpoint that URI elevates to an elite competitive level, not just in the CAA, not just to win the CAA, but to compete for a title?
Yeah, I think there's different layers to that. I think go ahead and look first and foremost at the state government, recognizing that the East Stands needed replacement. $42 million going into it. It's not a small investment.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the product we've had on the field has gotten better and better throughout the time. We have to maintain that level and increase it. The operation, the fundamental operation of the program is tremendously supported by a newly created front office operation, which gives us, an opportunity to keep Rhody football in front of people 365. Guys like yourself getting good experience to, interview and someday go off and make a lot of money and send it back, But, it's a complete advancement of our whole program. And so at the end of it, you put together the football, you put together the facilities, the support, the structure, the exposure. You look at a very good possibility to have a national championship football team. I don't see a reason why we can't. Now, we still got to win a conference championship. We still got to beat Holy Cross first game. We got a long way to go. But, I've got my big vision would be, to fully, once we get this stadium done, to be able to do significant things within that stadium, put an indoor facility over there, and I think then we've got probably the finest facility in FCS football.
Awesome. And that's all the time we have today. We really appreciate you coming on the show again. It's always a blast to have you come on. It is great experience, as you alluded to. But yeah, that's all we got, and just thank you for taking the time.
You bet. I enjoyed it. All right, go Rhody.
Well, friends, that's all we have time for today. We thank you all so much for coming out. Again, this has been Rhody College Game Day. My man Johnny Blair to my right, my man Connor DeRosa to my left. And until the 2024, this is Noel McLean saying stay safe, stay dry, and most importantly, go Rhody.